Hi everybody, welcome back to another Chris EV Road Trips video. Tonight we're going to look at a bit of news about what's happening in the world of EVs. And so we've got Elon up there, and we've got Ian up there. Ian, how are you going?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Elon doesn't look happy there, but we're going to talk about him later. But we are going to talk a bit about...
That's not a live photo, you realise.
Oh, well, that could be how he feels at the moment, but we'll talk about that one in a minute. So we're going to go through a few things. The BYD Shark being released in New Zealand, a new brand coming to the Australian market before the end of 2024. And, of course, what is Elon Musk and Tesla up to these days? So I think we'll start off with the BYD Shark. Ian, I think it's going to be released in New Zealand shortly. What do you know about that?
Well, it's scheduled to be released at the Mystery Creek Field Days. And it's scheduled to be June 12, and the field days start on June 12, which is tomorrow, although they do run all the way to the weekend, so possibly it may take longer. But if it's released tomorrow, and given that New Zealand's 2 hours ahead of our time zone, we could know quite early what the specifications for New Zealand are.
I'll have to go quick and put this video up, so hopefully we don't make any mistakes tonight, so I can just not do any editing. So, yeah, BYD, yeah, so that's going to be exciting. So hopefully Australia will not be more than a month behind New Zealand this time. Do you think that's going to be the case, or...?
Well, I don't know what's happening in New Zealand. I mean, is it just being announced and pre-orders? They have units in the country, we know that, but they have units here too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I would say it's still a few months off because there's no, they'd be beating their little drum if it was like going to be here in a month or two. I would say by now.
They haven't Australian compliance yet.
Oh, okay.
And you wouldn't think you'd ship a large number of them.
Yeah.
Without achieving compliance, just in case some issue was found. But then realistically, if the paperwork's complete, even if the compliance is not granted yet, you generally know whether you've got to do anything through the compliance or not. If something's not picked up by the people who do the inspection for compliance, which is actually done in China, if they miss it, then the cars get here as compliant anyway. And you find out about it later, like happened with the Atto 3.
Yeah. So we're not going to have any seatbelt issues this time?
Didn't comply.
Yeah. So no seatbelt issues this time, do you think?
No, I think they'll know about those. And the people who did the inspection will know about those, more to the point.
Yeah. All right. So, so that's going to be exciting for the SUV market in Australia because they're predicting that this is going to take a big chunk of the market. Well, only time will tell, and of course the pricing has to be really sharp if they want to get thousands of sales.
The shark to bite, yes.
Yeah. Well, we can think of a few puns, but the shark to bite, yeah, that's right. In a pool of, I'm not going to go there, so I'm not very good at puns. All right, so the next big news is we've got another car brand introduced for Australia that's snuck up on a lot of people. I've only just realised we're going to have Xpeng, which is another Chinese manufacturer, and they're considered to be fairly technical, fairly high-tech cars, but prices are really good. So
they're referred to as the Chinese Tesla.
The Chinese Tesla, yes. And the one we're getting is the G6, which is I wouldn't say copy, but it's designed to compete with the Model Y. So it's nearly millimeter accurate with the Model Y. So it's a very close competitor. And they're saying that cars, you can actually put down a deposit here in June, and your car could be here in October. So That's pretty exciting news because I think they're going to beat the BYD Sea Lion 7 to market at the moment. What do you think about that, Ian? Do you think that's going to be the case?
No, I doubt it.
No?
There's journalists already testing the BYD Sea Lion 7 in Thailand.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, it'll probably be around about the same time, so that's going to be good for the Australian market. We'll have a choice.
Yep.
Yeah, because...
It could be, but I think it may be earlier than October.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I think I'm going to... Yeah, I'm interested in either the Sea Lion 7 or this Xpeng. So I'm going to wait and drive both cars and decide which one I like the most. But
what about the Zika?
Yeah, Zika tends to be a bit upmarket. I think the price is going to be a lot higher, but I'm not. Is that what you teams seem to think? Or
No, I think it might match the Xpeng.
yeah, well, that'd be good to know because the rumor is that the Xpeng is going to be 54,900, which is 1,000 cheaper than the Model Y. But we'll wait and see if it's true.
Right. Well, who knows what the Model Y will be at the time?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So I think that they want a price, whatever the price of the Model Y is, they want to be $1,000 less. So we'll see if that's true and see if that happens. And the next thing we wanted to move on to is our good friend Elon Musk. We've got a little photo here with two thumbs pointing each way, one at cars, one at humanoid robots. What's that all about, Ian?
Well, the big thing is that the vote on his remuneration package at Tesla is due to happen on Thursday the 13th. So he had, just for the quick backstory, the shareholders approved a remuneration package for him back in 2019. Then one shareholder brought a court case with others joining in that objected to the fact that things weren't laid out clearly enough and the decision was a bit questionable. And a court held that that was correct and overturned and made the remuneration package against the rules. They would have to present it again. To which Tesla said, well, right, we're going to change where the company's registered from Delaware, which is the normal registration of most companies that are looking to be public in America. Is the standard place to do it is Delaware because they have the most suitable regulations and they're set up to do it. But he's going to move it from there to Texas because he's upset with the decision. And he's asking for shareholder approval to move the company's registration to become a Texas company, and that requires shareholder approval. And secondly, to approve his remuneration package, which gets variously quoted at, I think the latest quote is $56 billion worth of pay, which is by far the largest remuneration that any CEO of a public company in America has ever received.
It's a nice payday.
It basically more than offsets the shares he had to sell in order to acquire Twitter. So it means that acquiring Twitter can have been free.
I see.
If he gets the remuneration package. So he has the backing of the board, but then part of the original judgment was that the board is very closely aligned to Elon Musk, being very appointed by him. And part of the deal, and I mean, the deal comes as far as share options, which have been triggered by conditions already met. So he could convert them all into shares, and that would raise his control of the company. And then you have biggest say in who becomes the directors as well. So it's all sort of very interesting. And Elon Musk has said that he feels he should be remunerated, but with the implication that there's no fallback package. He gets this amount of 56 billion as a CEO salary or nothing, saying that, look, there's other shareholders, and people have said, oh, you already have shares. And he said, well, there's other shareholders, they don't turn up as a CEO. So there is a question of of something between 0 and 56 billion being maybe possible, given that it's all that any other CEO's ever earned. Anyway, so he may leave is one thing, and he's even taken some steps that suggest he may even be preparing to leave. I mean, the statement that he may leave is that he would take the opportunities of robotics and AI and develop them outside Tesla. And he's already diverted a shipment of AI chips from Tesla to his other companies.
That doesn't sound very nice.
AI chips later now. What's that?
That doesn't sound very nice.
It's questionable. There's a lot of questionable things about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Another one is the company set up a website promoting and marketing the idea that it's putting to the shareholders, basically, through a dedicated website saying, well, not here's both sides of the argument, here's just why you should do it, why we need Elon Musk, and we should pay him this rather generous compensation. Elon Musk has also set up a deal whereby if you register to vote or something or other, you get in the draw to get a personal tour of the factory with Elon Musk.
Yes.
Which is
funny things going on.
Most value to the people who are fans of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be able to say that there's a prize if you vote yes, but if you phrase it the right way, you're going to attract the yes voters to vote, at least. So
I can see two outcomes. Either he gets the money, and will that affect the share price, do you think?
In the longer term, it has to, because you're adding about another at least 25. I haven't worked out the percentage of stock, but it's a significant percentage of stock. I mean, if your company's valued at $1 billion,
yeah,
and there's 1 million shares, for example, then each share is worth $1,000, right? But then if you add another 250 million shares, another 25% of shares, and the company's still worth $1 billion, because it doesn't automatically become worth more just because you've issued more shares, then assumedly the share value goes down.
Yes, and I think, so if he doesn't get what he wants, what do you think he's going to do?
Well, it's hard to know. I mean, he could be just making almost his threat seem tangible with this diverting of AI chips into X and XAI, which are two private companies of his now. Well, the first one is now of his, and the other one was always of his. Suggesting he's going to move the AI projects there. It seems to be the undercurrent, or he's considering it at least.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to leave and he wanted to be voted no, he wouldn't be taking the steps to promote it so strongly. So you'd think he wants to stay, but does it become a matter of face if he doesn't get what he wants?
Oh, well, it's only a couple of days away now, so we'll soon find out what happens there.
Well, getting the vote doesn't get him the package. There's more to go through than that, but he has shareholder approval if he gets it.
I see. Right. So, and did we know anything else about what's happening with the next model of Tesla? Is it going to be a robo-taxi? Is it going to be Model 2? Or I haven't really kept up with the news.
The suggestion is the Model 2 is not this year. There's no update to the Model Y this year.
That's right.
The next thing to come is going to be the robo-taxi, but exactly what's coming with the robo-taxi, there's due to be an announcement in August, but, they announced the Tesla Cybertruck in 2019, and they didn't ship it till late 2023. So an announcement doesn't necessarily mean it's going to ship soon. There's a lot of regulatory hurdles to get it in use. No one's making a big enough fortune out of the robo-taxi business. So unless it brings something radically new to it, and there are robo-taxis in operation already.
Yeah, because I know GM did a little trial. I don't think it went too well for them. So I think they took theirs down. But which robo-taxis, which country has robo-taxis? Do you...
Well, America has Google ones still in operation in various
Okay.
cities,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they're not the
right.
only ones. The problem with there were two problems with the GM one. One of the biggest ones was that it was that they kept it a bit of a secret that there were always people ready to take over remotely and control the car.
Ah,
So they
right.
weren't
Yeah.
fully robo-taxis.
Yeah.
But that seems to be prudent initially, at least.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
to
there's
release a
nothing wrong with
robo-taxi,
that.
what scale are you going to release them at without some oversight, at least for a period of time? You know, it's hard to get something big off the ground. So this is the interesting
Yeah.
thing. There's nothing big to come from Tesla.
Mm.
That really is the biggest thing that could happen is if they've got to do something unannounced. So the biggest potential would be with their robots, which they've been, demonstrating and saying things, but it's hard to see it coming that fast that this year it's going to help. So it could be a tough year. At least the vote is before the Q2 2024 results, which, if they're like the Q1 results, won't be very favourable.
Yeah, because as you know, in Sydney, we've got the Cybertruck being shipped around to all these shopping centres, and for some reason they want to display it. Is there any chance we're going to see Cybertrucks in Australia?
Well, we could see another one.
Yeah, will it be? Yeah, but will it be? Is there any chance they're going to make a right-hand drive version and release it in Australia, or they've just got too many orders in the US and there?
Well, I mean, they can't. They can only build so many in the US. They've supposedly got way more orders, and it'd be difficult to see the Cybertruck hitting that market, given that it's the only version they've built. The cheapest version they're building at the moment is over $100,000 US, $110,000, I think it is.
Yeah.
You convert that to Australian dollars, then you add just luxury car tax and things.
Yeah.
It's going to be about $250,000 in Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Now, there's cheaper ones supposedly coming, but if they can't supply those to the US, they're not going to prioritise them to Australia before the US.
Yeah. So you will have to be a rapper to buy a Cybertruck. That's got to have plenty of money.
An expensive car here.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how big the ute market is for $250,000 utes at this point in time.
Yeah, so the Dodge Ram, that's middle 100,000, and I think the F-150 Ford, if you want the EV version, it's $250,000.
It is $250,000, right?
Yeah, so that's a big close.
How many have they sold?
I wouldn't imagine there'd be too many. I think that's just like mining companies or someone buying those. So I haven't seen one on the road. So yeah. Yeah,
so I mean the end result is that where Tesla's going is a bit questionable at the moment. And I mean, one of the things is, what difference would it make if Elon did leave? They possibly would prioritise releasing cars more and robo-taxis less, and maybe, who knows which direction the company would go. But there's a lot of calls for him not to be, from significant large shareholders are calling for him not to be granted this remuneration package.
Yeah.
So, it's not a foregone conclusion that he'll get it. So yeah, I saw. If you check online, you'll see lots of articles about people saying, "Don't give it to him." I was just looking there at different ones, but yeah, there's all these large investors. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But there's a lot of Tesla, a lot of Elon Musk fans as well. I mean, who knows whether the company would have, succeeded had he not become CEO in 2008, I think it was.
Mm.
And he was an investor for quite a while before that.
So what percentage of the, you probably don't know this off the top of your head, but what percentage of cars in Australia are of EVs sold at Teslas? It's quite high, isn't it?
Percentage of EVs,
It's definitely more than
it was
50.
over 50% at one stage.
Yeah. Because
It's possibly still close.
yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
done the latest maths.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, that's right. Because the BYD actually did quite good in the month of May in
yeah, but they're still
sales
they're
figures.
number two, and they're still a fair way behind.
Yeah, yeah. So we are actually seeing more competitors come onto the market. So Tesla doesn't have not going to have a free ride anymore. They've got to be, as we know, they're reducing the price of their cars, so they must be feeling some pressure to.
Well, there's a lot of news out there
maintain.
that there's huge unsold stock of Teslas in Australia. The question is whether it's over-exaggerated, but I've seen these reports of graveyards of thousands of Teslas sitting there rotting in things. I don't know if you've seen those reports as well.
I've seen it, but I've not even bothered to read it because I know it's kind of probably misrepresented news. But yeah, I haven't checked to see if it's factual or not.
But if there are lots of cars here, it's hard to see why there would be. I mean, the sales were down in the last month that we've seen figures for, but that's not unusual for Tesla because they usually ship, but it's usually as a result of when shipments arrive. They usually don't have a huge gap between cars arriving and getting to customers. So if there really is a huge number here, it would be suggesting that they sent more to Australia than they can sell and would explain the price cuts. Because why would you do price cuts if you're selling all you can get?
Correct. But I think now Model Y is only $1,000 more expensive than the Model 3. I think that's going to really lift sales of the Model Y. I think that's made it.
You would think so. You'd think, it makes sense. They've got a big stock here, that's fine. And they've responded with a price cut that could, and probably all that news is too soon to see whether that price cut ships all that stock.
Yeah, because I would like to trade my Atto 3 in for something along the lines of either a Model Y, the C-Line 7 or the Xpeng G6. So we might have a decision to make by the end of this year, or there could even be more cars. Who knows? Because there are rumours that there are more Chinese manufacturers or car manufacturers will be selling cars in Australia within 12 months. So we'll have even more brands.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting mix, though. I mean, you've got there's not that many brands with a reputation for products that compete head-to-head with the Model Y. BYD has the reputation of bringing out well-priced and quality vehicles, and you look at their market share in China, they're the only ones who sell more EVs in China than Tesla.
Right.
So in a market where people can choose anything, the only thing they choose in greater numbers than Tesla as an EV is BYD. So none of these other brands are of the same competitiveness, or they'd sell at a similar level to BYD.
Yeah, that's my biggest.
And Neo don't have the range, but they're quite well regarded. But they're still, they're startups like Lucid in America.
Yeah.
They're not yet making a profit. They have interesting partnerships in discussion, and we could get some Chinese EVs through European brands on them too.
Well, have you got an example of that you want to share?
Well, Stellantis is doing big deals. They're of course they can get the smarts. There's quite a few deals with.
Okay.
Geely, which is, one of the biggest Chinese brands. In fact, Geely in the first quarter sold almost as many cars globally as BYD did. Now it sells more outside China because it owns a lot of brands it includes Volvo sales worldwide in that, and and what's the Malaysian brand? Anyway, there's a significant Malaysian brand that it includes sales of, etc. Because they have quite a lot of brands, everything from Lotus, right through.
Yeah. I've got some more news on that. MG Cyberstar is coming to Australia.
Right. Yep.
And it's going to, I think it's almost on sale soon, but the price is going to be way more than the old MG two-seater. I think it's over $100,000, $120,000, $130,000. I think they're quoting for the model.
Yeah. Well, once again, SAIC is not a brand that sells huge numbers of EVs in China, in the market where you can choose anything. They're not as big as other brands, but they do have the MG brand, and they've been selling, but they sell on price rather than quality. With Chinese brands, there's a whole array of what quality level you get, from quite cheap and cheerful to the Cherries and the SAICs, right through to quite really well made and luxurious.
Yeah, that's right. Because definitely the BYD Atto 3 or the BYD lineup is definitely a step up on anything that's come out of MG so far. So,
well, it's sort of two step ups on the MG, first generation of MGs, but the MG4 is probably only one step down from the Dolphin in build quality, etc. It's a lot better, but it is a clear step down when you know. But you get other things for your money too. They have good handling and things. It's more of a sports.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's probably covered those topics, I think.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. So I'll try and get this video up as soon as possible before the end of the week, and we'll have some good information for next time we meet to see how everything went for the BYD Shark in New Zealand.
Well, there'll be at least a video next Tuesday, I would imagine.
Yeah. And we'll see if Elon Musk gets his money or not.
Yes, Elon Musk, what happens with the shark? Quite a few things to report on. Okay,
no worries. Thank you, Ian, for your thoughts tonight, and I'll see everybody in the next video.
Okay.